What is up, guys, and welcome back to New Game Plus. And today, like I promised you guys, I have you another video. And this video was actually a request by one of my subscribers. They requested me to make a video on using the PS2 emulator on my iPhone 13 Pro Max. And in this video, I'm going to be playing Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. That was one of the game requested for me to test using the Play emulator on my iPhone. So, real quick, again, if you haven't seen my previous videos or so, you guys already know how I'm running the Play PS2 emulator on my iPhone and how I'm using this app called Jitterbug in order to debug the app and run it. I'm gonna have a link down in the video description below so you could follow the step by step in that video so you could get you going. Because right now I'm gonna show you the way that I use that app on my device to run it on my other devices. So real quick, look what happens here. They're gonna go. I'm gonna put the two screens right here so you can see them both. This is from my iPad and the other one's from my iPhone. I open Jitterbug on my iPad and click on the app that I want to use. I already have it on my favorite, which is and we're gonna be using right here the Play, the PS2 emulator. I have it right here, my favorite. I click in here. It's gonna ask for this image. Sometimes it asks you for it, even though you're like already paired once, but it still will ask you for it again. I'm pairing it. I'm mounting the image right now, and boom! As you can see right now on the screen right now on my iPhone 13 Pro Max, I'm already running the app, and the game is running properly. The app is working now. So if you don't do this, s- you don't do the you don't do this process using the jitterbug when you try to open the app. It just basically will crash the app, so it's not gonna work. So you do need to have All Store Beta, like I mentioned before in my previous videos, running, so you could use it and run some apps. Some apps need to be debugged, and in this case, instead of using the Alt server, I'm using Jitterbug. So it's easier for me and for most of you, most of you guys probably don't want to become a Patreon or the creator or All Star. But this is an alternative, and that's why I made that tutorial. So first of all, let's check the settings here. The game I'm gonna be running it on OpenGL because most of the games right now they run a lot better with OpenGL. Even though I prefer Vulkan when I'm using the emulators, but it only runs best right now with the majority games with OpenGL. We're gonna be running it at 2x, which is around 720p, and 1x is a regular native quality of the PlayStation 2. So we're gonna leave it how it is, and I will be changing between qualities here and then resolution factors. So let's go and check the game. Let's see how it runs. If I could skip this, okay, okay, press start. Let me see if I can make this look better. Actually, let me go back. Let me exit the game because I'm gonna try to put a 16:9 aspect ratio. So it could look better. Oh, by the way, the build version of the app that I'm using is a 0.47. This is the latest version as of this video. I did an update about the app and how it's performing. You can watch that video down below in the video description as well. I'm gonna have a little annotation card also showing up here too as well. Okay, video reset to widescreen. There we go. I could take the full space on my phone. All right, so let's go back. Done. Once you run the Jitterbug and you have the app already running, you don't need to run it again unless you close the app. Now let's run the app. Okay. So you guys can notice I'm gonna have the frame the frame counter in the top left corner, so you guys can see how the game is performing. And let me see if I can skip this again. Still is a work in progress with this emulator, but it's the only one that we have available for iOS. This is a new one for Android, and it's worked really well. I actually love it a lot. I use it on my Samsung S20. But like I said, I like doing emulation tests on my Apple devices as well. Oh, that's right. I quit. There we go. Because I need to use Zircle to confirm instead of X. That's why I quit. All right. New game. Let's just go with the first one because it's just to show you guys how we run. Eh, normal. Okay, just verifying that this is recording. Remember what I said, guys. In some games, the cutscenes are non-playable at all. Like in the previous game that I've been testing, Extermination, like the cutscene is not playable. In the previous game that on the previous video from the other day that I test on Silent Hill 2, the cutscenes are not playable and it's having a lot of audio glitches. And another thing to have in mind, some of those games are not even in the compatible list. I forgot to check for this one, to be honest. I just tested it out because somebody asked me to. But the way it's performing right now in the cutscene, it might not be fully compatible, but at least the cutscene compared with the other two games is actually playing. But you could see the frame rate drop. Probably most of the cutscenes are set around 30 frames per second, but you could hear the audio is kind of like cutting off. So hopefully it's a new update on this emulator coming soon that improves some of the performance overall, regardless the game is compatible or not. But we will have to wait and see. Because I'm pretty sure if I run this game on the Ether SX2 emulator on my Samsung S20, the game probably is gonna be performing a lot better. About the cutscenes, I'm not sure because it was happening the same thing we extermination that happened here on the Play emulator. It was happening also on the on my Samsung S20. It was happening the same issues. It was happening as well too. I haven't got to test Silent Hill on that emulator, so I'm not sure how it will be performing. Oh, here we go. We got to that part right now where the cutscene is not playable, but okay, it's starting to move now, but it's really glitchy. Okay, at this point, the cutscene is dropping a lot of the frames and it's getting a little bit out of place with the audio and some of the stuff cutting off. So, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna skip the cutscene to see how we load in the map. Okay, this one. Okay, this second cutscene is running at least 60 frames per second. No issue. The only cutscene that I see that works a little bit more better is when they have the in-game engine. Even though this one looked like it was in-game engine, the previous one. This one is running better actually compared with the first one. The first cutscene. Okay, let's skip it. Let's see how it loads in-game. And depending how it loads, I'm gonna switch to Vulkan to see how it performs, and let's skip everything so I don't have you guys waiting. Okay, we are around 22 frames per second. Let's see if we could skip this too. That's another cutscene. What's gonna happen? Oh, I get in. Yep, there's a lot of visual artifacts in here. Let's see if I could skip this. Another cutscene. Okay, let's see if we'll find anything. Oh, Yep, the game just crashed. The game just crashed, ladies and gentlemen. The game just crashed. Yep, the game just crashed just now. Let me run it one more time, but let me use Vulkan this time. Let me use my Jitterbug app on my iPad once again. You guys already know how it runs. And let's see, it's connecting to my iPhone. And let's see if we Vulkan how this game perform. Otherwise, this game is gonna be set up as unplayable, even though it loads to a certain point, but then we get kicked out. Okay, this is taking longer than usual. Let me see something real quick. I gotta close this so it doesn't get on the way. Let's see. I gotta close the app on the iPad as well. Let me open it again. Right. So let's see. I gotta turn off the Wi-Fi and turn it back on. Quickly take my phone. There we go. From my phone. Here in my phone. Checking my apps installed on my phone. And let's see if we could run this with Balkan. At this point, if it doesn't work with Balkan, you guys already know this ain't gonna work with OpenGL. The first step was on OpenGL, and I have it at 2x, and that's the lowest it could go. So, I mean, it could go as low as one, but if it was giving that much issue, I don't think it's gonna make any difference. But for the sake of it, we're gonna switch to Balkan, and we're gonna set it to one x. Let's see how it runs now. Let me see if I could skip everything. And just in case you guys are curious, I'm using iOS 15.2. Like I said, on the updates that I've done in my other videos, is fully compatible with all the emulator apps as long as you're using Jitterbug with some other apps. Like Dolphin and Play, you need to have Jitterbug in order to run it on the All-Store server. All right, let's see how it goes. Let's skip everything. I'll have to show you the cutscene again so you can see what was happening. This one obviously works perfectly
After
fine.
the end of World War II, the world was split into two.
It doesn't let me skip
East
just
and
yet.
West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Let's see, and there we go. I could skip that. I'm just skipping everything right now. Skip this too. Let's see after this cutscenes are over if I get kicked out of the game.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy
Okay,
territory.
we didn't get
Only
to this
hope you don't
part
sink
when we
in.
would try to
From here on
OpenGL,
out, we'll be using codename
so
Brute.
that's good. Let's see what happens next. Skip all of this. Let's see how it performs. Hmm. Oh, okay. It loaded. Can move the character, but as you guys can see, there's a lot of artifact in screen. But apparently, you can only use Vulkan at 1x resolution. But to be honest, to play this game with all the artifacts on the screen is not good at all. I could play it at 1x, either Vulkan or OpenGL, but with this artifacts going up in the screen, it's a no go. And it's a native resolution that frame rate is dropping. Yeah, yeah. Even the test when you die is like kind of laggy. Yeah, the audio is out of place. All right. To be completely honest with you guys, this needs a little bit more work, and the game needs to be there needs to be some fixes implemented into the game and into the emulator as a whole with some medias or with some videos for the cutscenes they're playing. It needs to be an option to switch to software renderer. For example, on the Ether and PCXX2, when a cutscene is not playable using one of the backends, OpenGL or Vulkan, what the emulator does is on the PCSX2 emulator, what it does is that has an option in settings to switch to software render, and then you could actually see all the cutscenes. It will switch in between automatically when a cutscene is playing. They need to have an option here for the Play emulator and also for the
Snake, where do you
Ether
think you're
Access
going?
2. They need to
Can't
have
expect to
that
proceed
option
with the
available.
mission without.
So this is a stay on this game running in the emulator is not it's not so good because I mean it's playable right now, but the frame rate, the audio is out of sync, and all this artifacts you guys are seeing here. But in my opinion, I would not play the game like this. The only thing that looks good here is some of the cutscenes in the menu. That's about it. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions or you have something to say about the game, or do you have another request. My next game that I'm going to test is going to be GTA San Andreas. That one will be available. I can tell you when exactly. It all depends on my schedule because I'm working full time and my schedule is a little bit complicated sometimes. So I can promise you an exact day, but my next game test is gonna be GTA San Andreas. So if you're interested to see that video, and if you're new to the channel and you're interested to see how it performs, remember to subscribe to the channel and enable the notification, the notifications, enable them in order to get notified when my video is available. So thank you guys for watching and see you guys on the next one.